Welcome to this anti-desk yoga practice. This is going to be for anyone that spends a lot of time at their desk, and we're going to be working into our wrists, our shoulders, and into the hips as well. We're going to start seated today, so you don't have to sit like this, you can sit however you like, but before we get moving, we're just going to take a couple of moments of stillness. So get comfy, rest your hands somewhere that the shoulders can relax, and then close off the eyes. Let's take a breath in through the nose and a sigh out through the mouth. And allow yourself to settle into your seat and start to listen into how you feel right now. What are we bringing to the mat today? How is the physical body feeling? And how is our mind doing today? So just take a moment to really kind of tune in. And whatever you have going on today, just be mindful of that throughout your practice. Take what you need from this practice and leave the rest. So everything is always a suggestion. You can keep the eyes closed if you wish. Otherwise, we're just going to start with some simple neck rolls. So whatever feels good for your neck here. You might just take a little kind of half head nod. You might go for the full circle if that feels good. See if you can really kind of listen into what the neck, the shoulders and the upper back are saying when you do this. Maybe the face begins to clench up. See if you can soften through the muscles of the face. And if there is a particularly tight spot, see if you can hold it there for a couple of breaths and relax into it. Try not to screw up the face. If anything is so intense that you begin to kind of wince, we've maybe just gone a little bit too far. So just be really kind to yourself. Wonderful, nice. And then finishing up by dropping the chin towards the chest. Let the head be heavy. Breathe into the back of the neck, into the upper back. Nice. And then slowly lifting the head into a neutral place. Let's come to an all fours position. So starting with the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips, but with your right hand, you're going to come onto the top of the hand, turn the fingers back towards the knee, spread the fingers nice and wide. Now for some of us, this is enough of a stretch. We're already feeling it in the wrists and in the forearm. And if it's too much, place more weight into your left hand. So you can always lean over to the left and give your left hand more weight. Otherwise, even up the weight, and let's take a little rock forwards and back. And it might be very, very subtle. So be mindful with your joints. Don't take them to their very fullest range just yet before we've even got warm. Nice. So gentle rocks forwards and back. See how that feels in the top of the hand, in the forearm. Those little areas that work really hard when we're tapping and typing away. Good. And then turning the hand back to its regular position. Let's do the same with the left. And see how you feel. Spread the fingers wide. And then maybe just taking that little rock forwards and back, or just holding it in this static shape might suit some of us. You just want to like gently tease into the joint. And this is where it becomes really apparent which side is tighter than the other or more worked than the other. Good. And then turning the fingertips back to face forwards. Awesome. From here, turn your fingertips to the outside edges of your mat, so your thumbs are pointing forwards. You're just going to take a little sway from side to side. Feel it into the wrists, but see if you can get the shoulders like slipping and sliding over the back of the rib cage. Nice one. Good. And then turning the fingertips back towards the knees or as far as you can. So your inner forearm is pointing forwards. We're going to take cat-cow like this. So inhale, dropping the belly, lift the heart. And as you exhale, round it on out. Look to the toes. Lovely. Inhale, dropping the belly, shining the heart forwards. Look up. Exhale, scoop up the tummy. Look to those toes. One more. Inhale, dropping the belly, stretching through the tummy. Exhale, push your shoulder blades into the ceiling. Let your head drop down. Nice. Inhale to a neutral spine and then turn your fingertips to face forward. Your hands might feel kind of warm now. We're coming into puppy pose, so keep your hips exactly where they are. Walking the hands forwards, dropping the forehead or the chin towards the mat and melting the heart towards the earth. So see if you can use gravity as much as possible. So we don't really want to be holding ourselves in space here. See if you can just allow that body to drape in between the arms. Really opens up through the shoulders and that heart space. Relaxing into it as much as you can. Lovely. And then walking the hands back underneath the shoulders. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, push your shoulder blades up to the ceiling. Make an angry cat shape. Should feel really good after that puppy pose. Nice. Inhale to a neutral place now. Spread those fingers, tucking the toes. And let's find a downward facing dog. So sending those sit bones back and up. Maybe take a little walk out through the feet one at a time. If that feels good on your hamstrings today. Lovely. Nice one. When you've had a bit of a mooch, bring your big toes together at the back of the mat. So your feet are in the middle of the mat and you're going to raise your right foot up towards the sky, but then bend the knee and really relax your right foot. Good. See if you can point your right knee up towards the ceiling. Options here, you can make some circles with the knee. You can maybe write your name. Keep strong through the shoulders. And really push the floor away with your hands. Nice. So a little bit of movement through the hip here. What feels good? Have a little bit of a play there. Lovely. And then bringing that right foot back down. Let's do the same with the left. So inhale, left leg lift. But then bend the knee and let the foot become really lazy. Point that knee up towards the sky. Maybe it circles with that knee. Maybe it's something else. Keep the breath flowing. Lovely. And just find something that feels really, really good. Lovely. Taking one more breath or one more little movement wherever you are. Good. And then bringing that left foot down. Good. Dropping to all fours, dropping the knees, and then lower all the way down to the tummy. So come all the way down to the tummy. Nice one. Taking your hands wider than your mat, and your fingers in line with the shoulders, we're going to lift the chest here. So as you inhale, lifting the chest. And as you exhale, lower. So wave your spine here. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, lower. One more. Inhale, lift. And as you exhale, lower. Forehead to the mat. Hands underneath the shoulders, pushing back to a child's pose, just a counter pose. Those little back bends there. Maybe taking a little rock of the forehead from side to side, massaging any tension away. Good, and then coming forwards to all fours. Exhale, finding your downward facing dog. Awesome. When you get to your downward facing dog, walk your hands back towards your feet. So you're coming to the back edge of your mat. Feet are hip width apart and parallel. Good. As you inhale, hands onto the knees and then lengthen through the body. Good. From here, reaching the hands forwards, biceps by your ears. So we're strengthening the back. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, swim your arms back. So fingertips are pointing back like your sitting bones. Good. Inhale, reaching them forward. See what's happening in the shoulder. Exhale, reach it back. Core engaged and neck is long. You can always soften through the knees if you need. Inhale, reaching forwards. Really good for our postural muscles. Exhale, reaching it on back. Life in those fingers. One more. Inhale, reach it on forwards. Exhale, swim it on back. Inhale, reaching forwards. Core stage engaged. And then as you exhale, soften your knees, hands to mat. Whew, let your head be heavy. Ragdoll pose. Belly to thighs. Relax. Notice how your spine feels. You might feel kind of warm after that. Good. And then heel toeing your feet to the outside edges of your mat with your big toes pointing outwards. We're going to come down briefly into a yogi squat. So dropping the sit bones down between the heels. Hands can stay on the mat or hands to heart center. Look down towards your fingertips so the back of the neck is nice and long here. And see if you can relax your glutes. So really relax those bum cheeks. Breathing into the belly. So prizing open our hips and lengthening through the back. Bringing your hands down behind you now. And then lengthen your legs out in front. You can give them a little bit of a shake out if they need it after that. Good. You're going to bring your right knee in towards the chest, and then you're going to grab the foot and the knee, either like this. This is an option for some of us. Maybe it's a little bit of this. Or maybe some of us can cradle it like a baby and go for this. But either is fine. And just find a bit of movement in that right hip that feels really good. So maybe it's circles, maybe it's a little side to side. I know for me, pulling it over feels good here because I've been doing a lot of walking. So just kind of find what feels good for you. Lovely. And then when you've had enough of that, we're going to step this foot on the outside of our left knee. So either on the knee or up a bit higher if you can. Sitting up nice and tall, take a breath in. And then as you exhale, we're going to twist to the right. So drawing that belly in, looking over that right shoulder if you can. Really wringing out the spine, giving it a nice rinse out. Good, take a nice big breath. And as you exhale, unwind, come to face forwards, and let's do the same on the opposite. So lengthen out that right leg. Assess the situation with the left. So maybe it's a little bit of this, maybe it's a little bit of baby action. Just see how your hips feel, particularly if you've been sat for quite a while, or maybe your office chair is not as comfortable as you would like it to be. You might find a little something in the hip if you begin to like really find a bit of movement there. Wonderful. Good. And then when you've had enough of that, we're going to land that foot on the outside of your right leg as close as you can towards you. Sit tall, sit proudly here. And then as you exhale, twisting to the left. So bring your left hand behind, right arm hugs into that knee. And give that spine a nice big wring out. It's like wringing it out to refresh it. Nice, follow the breath, stay with it. Good, one more big breath. And as you exhale, unwind, come to face forwards and lengthen out both legs. Give them a little bit of a shake out here, maybe a little bit of a massage. Good. From here, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together as close as your heels can get to your groin. That doesn't aggravate your knees. And then sit tall, take a breath. And then as you exhale, begin to shift the shoulders forward. So maybe the hands land here, maybe just moving it a millimeter for some of us. So kind of find what you need here. Should feel very groiny, but also check in what's happening with your lower back. Like should feel nice opening through the lower back, almost like your tailbone is pointing backwards. Relax the jaw. And there is absolutely no need to force yourself into anything. So just notice if you are doing that. I know we do sometimes. Give yourself a break. And just allow yourself to be wherever you are. You are exactly where you need to be today. Don't worry what you did yesterday or what you want to do tomorrow. This is the shape you're in today. Focus on the breath. Calm, steady breathing. Lovely, and then slowly coming all the way back up. Keep your legs as they are for a moment and bring your arms parallel. So this is gonna really teach us to use our deep core. So take a breath in. And as you exhale, slowly roll onto the back of your pelvis, nice and slow. Slowly, slowly. Come all the way down onto the back. Hands either side of the hips. Nice one. And then closing up your knees. You can use your hands to support if you need. Knees together. Take your feet as wide as your mat and then just gently knock your knees together just to release through that hip opener. Good. And then bringing the feet about hip width, close towards your bum. You won't be able to brush your heel. We're going to come into one bridge. So inhale, lifting up the bum, pressing into the feet. Maybe our hands stay here. Maybe you want to interlace those fingers and tuck them behind you. Good. Keep pushing the knees forward so you feel that opening through the front of the hip. And imagine your sternum reaching back so you're lengthening your front side rather than shortening or compressing the back side. Good. One more breath. And as you exhale, come on down. Lovely. Take your arms out wide and then take your feet as wide as your mat. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, allow the knees to drop to the left. Just let them kind of fall lazily. And as they fall to the left, you might feel the front of the right hip or the side of the right hip get a little bit of a stretch. Good. Inhale, knees through center. And exhale, knees to the right. Legs are heavy. And breathe where you are. Breathe exactly where you are. Inhale, bringing the knees through center. And let's find a comfortable position for Shavasana. So maybe traditional legs out long, maybe feet on the mat, knees in, or maybe soles of the feet together, knees butterfly out. And let's all bring our hands onto our tummy. Close off the eyes. And just watch your breath rise and fall underneath your hands. So as you take those full mindful breaths, you feel your stomach expand, not just the rib cage. Allowing the back of the body to sink into the earth, completely supported by gravity. And let's just give ourselves a couple of minutes here, focusing on that breath. I will talk us out of Shavasana, but let's practice stillness for 2 minutes. Starting to deepen the inhale. And lengthen the exhale. Notice how that breath feels in the body, in your hands. And maybe starting to bring light movement to the fingers and the toes. Letting the head drop side to side. And then when you're ready, reaching the hands up and overhead. Take the arms overhead, stretch the fingers away from toes, toes away from fingers. And then hugging the knees in towards the heart, give yourself a hug. Hug it in. Good. And then taking a little rock up and down the length of the spine. Come to seated. See if you can keep your eyes closed. Come into a seated position. Relaxing the hands wherever feels comfortable. And see if we can just sit up a little bit taller and prouder. And with each exhale, see if we can find a softness, a sense of ease. And see if we can allow that softness and sense of ease to trickle off the mat into our everyday life, into the rest of our day. Blinking the eyes open. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me today. I really hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please give it a thumbs up so I know which ones are popular and I can do more of them. If you have any requests at all for yoga videos, please do let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next flow. Bye.